I know it's Labour, but I can't remember his name. Our last Liberal Prime Minister was absolutely terrible. You've got Biden, don't you? Isn't it? Our last one was Scott Morrison. We had several huge bushfires in Australia, like burnt half of Australia, where Scott Morrison, our Prime Minister at the time, went on holiday, left the country. That's just how bad it is. Exactly. Our Prime Minister, in the middle of the huge fires we had, which were worldwide news with how bad they were, Australia's worst bushfires ever, our Prime Minister hid, like, he even pretended he was still in Australia. He tried to hide that he actually went on holiday. And then even when it came out that he was on holiday, it still took him a week or two to actually come back to Australia. I do agree with that one, Pickles, but I also agree with Automod picking that, catching it. Yeah. And now we've got the opposition leader in. I haven't really heard too much what he's doing, but we also haven't had the devastation we had, so... Well, that ice went flying. Well, ooh. Trailer almost rolled it there. Didn't mean to go down there. Lucky I didn't roll. Finally, I'm back here. I should be able to make it the rest of the way. Hopefully. Yeah. I wish we would just get a good politician somewhere and some good be done for the people. Instead of all these politicians that work for the large companies pretty much. Yeah, I don't know too much about how Trump went. Like, as you would expect, since all media and stuff were hating on Trump and all that, we didn't hear much of what good he done for the country. So, yeah. We only heard what bad things he done. How am I just losing power completely? It's not wanting to move. That's one problem with the two-party system America has. You pretty much only... That was an absolutely horrible camera. You only have the two people you can vote for at each stage, and you only have the two parties you can vote for. In Australia, we've got a heap of minor parties where you vote for who's going to lead your local government area, and you might have 10, 15 parties to vote for. And then each government area has a seat in the upper house, I think it is. And the only way for one party to have control is if they get more than a third of the seats Australia-wide for their one party. Okay. The last thing the politicians want, though, is what they call a hung parliament, which is where no major party has control, and, well, no major party has enough seats to take proper control, and they need the minor parties to side with them. For now, I'm going to leave this truck up here, and I'm going to jump back to the twin steer. Chuck it here and fill it up, and don't have it on this map. Here, the minor parties, I wish more people would vote for the minor parties, because it takes control away from the major parties and means more good can be done. Because major parties mainly work for the big corporations, not so much for the little people, the everyday people. Where the minor parties, they're often usually only running in parliament for the sake of improving something for themselves, and they're not a part of big parties. Yeah, I did hear good things about Bernie Sanders, but because he wasn't a big person, he didn't have the money backing, he wasn't something. Was it Hillary Clinton bet him? Yeah. Most larger company, I think anyway, most larger parties are there for the money. Yeah. But because she's got the money, she was able to beat Bernie Sanders. Yep. She bought her way through the election. She bought the election, the votes, pretty much. Yeah. Still lost to Donald Trump, which also had a lot of money, also had a lot of power. When Donald Trump got into power, companies and organizations and other politicians and all that thought he would do a good job for them, like help them a lot. But when they realized that he was doing what he said he would do and trying to break that down for how the government works, that's when they all turned on him and started bad-mouthing him, and he started hearing nothing but bad in the news about him. Very much so. With running like a company, as soon as I heard he was running for president, I was saying right from then, he will run the country like a company. He is an extremely smart businessman. I never heard of that part, Pickles. But in my opinion, the president and our prime minister gets way too much money in the first place. Just by making it across that water, this truck's doing better. Oh, fuel's gone ridiculously expensive here as well. I'm not sure how many litres in a gallon, but we've had our highest fuel prices here ever. Which is like $2.30, $2.20 a litre. Yep, I agree there. Pickles as well too. Oh, ads, yep. Now, our fuel price has gone up because, supposedly because the war, the Russian war, which should never have happened. I'm gonna take all the wood this time, then I'll come back for the service spare parts after. Oh, there we go. Okay. So yeah, our fuel prices were higher than a gallon for 4 litres. $4 per gallon. But then that's not counting the currency difference. Which I also don't know. I used to keep an eye on that stuff for the sake of redeeming or buying games on Steam and when to put Steam gift cards onto Steam and that stuff, because when you buy a gift card, you'd buy it in Australian dollars. Then when it gets put onto Steam, they would automatically convert it to US for the store. But then they made the change of on Steam they would have the Australian dollar on there, so it made no difference then. Yeah. Yeah, that's what Pickles said. For this drive, I really should have chain tyres, because I'm not really driving through much snow. Yeah, all good. Yeah, I think Pickles might have looked it up and got the exact number. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds right. So, it can roughly say $1.50 Australian's $1 US, and therefore $4 a gallon if 1 gallon is, we'll say 4 litres. That would be about $6 Australian per gallon, but $2.20 a litre for us is like almost $9. So yeah, our fuel is a bit more expensive. I'm kind of really glad that I don't need to drive much anymore. When I was working, I used to go through about 30 litres a week. Now I'm lucky to go through 30 litres a month almost. Yes, definitely intuition. Way too high. I don't see any reason why fuel prices are so high. All good, Pickles. Ooh. That's a lot of fuel. I only drive a real small car. My car is a Ford Fiesta. And no, it might even be less than 30 litres. I think my tank's like 40, 45 litres. And it has finally happened. I've lost my cargo. And there it goes. And I just realised had no roll counter on. It is the first roll for the stream, so you're talking a bit fast for me here. Yeah, one of the reasons I picked the car I've got is because it is very cheap on fuel. I don't really want to be moving the Voron because I need that there for... I might be able to do it without that there, but I think I need that there for taking the... repair trailer up there. I've always driven cars that are very cheap on fuel, very fuel economic. I'm on my fourth car at the moment. First one was a Holden Barina, which is a very small Australian car. Second one was a Holden Chimera, which is small but uses a bit more, I think. A little bit bigger than the Barina. After that I had a Ford Laser, and now I'm on to Ford Fiesta. Yeah, I wouldn't even consider what a semi uses. They go through the fuel. But that's because they're taking all the heavy cargo. Yeah.